Gilbert, what did you do to Ruby?
Pinned her hair on the back of her chair.
You didn't.
Did you hear her scream? I bet you she thought her hair was being yanked up by the roots.
You shouldn't do such things, Gilbert Blythe.
I wouldn't to someone like you, Diana.
Oh, yes.
But to a prissy thing like Ruby Gillis, her hair's as yellow as straw, and she reminds me of a scarecrow. Except she cries all the time.
Mr. Blythe, I'd like to speak with you, if you please.
Yes, sir.
No, not in there. Let the silly creatures vent their immature energy. It's very good to have you back, my boy. As I expected, missing the first month of school has not hurt you one bit. Is your Uncle New Brunswick all right now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, it's really as if you haven't been gone. You'll move right to the head of the class.
I've still plenty of work to do, Mr. Phillips. And the new girl seems quite intelligent.
Yes, you're finally going to have a run for the top scholar prize.
I welcome the competition.
Oh, Anne, I thought it was going to burst. Did you see the look on Ruby's face when she screamed? Gil Blythe's the only one who could think of something like that and get away with it. Mr. Phillips had no idea. Anne, just a minute. He's awfully handsome, isn't he? Who? Gilbert Blythe, of course. Yes, he's handsome, but he's far too bold. It isn't good manners to wink at a strange girl. He winked at you? Just after he pulled the pin out of Ruby's hair. He knew I saw him, and he was showing off, but I just turned away. That must have been a shock for him. A girl turning away. It's his name that's written up there on the porch wall with Julia Bell's, isn't it? With the big take notice heart over it.
Who's your new friend, Diana?
This is Anne Shirley Gill. Anne spelled the elegant way, with an E.
Well, how do you do, Miss Elegant Anne Shirley? Why, she's taking no notice of me.
She took notice of the writing on the porch.
Ah, yes, the lovely Julia Bell. Her and I are inextricably bound together. I learned my multiplication tables by counting the freckles on her face.
That's very cruel. And so is what you did to Ruby Gillis.
I can see why you wouldn't appreciate jokes about hair and freckles.
Charlie Sloane is dead gone on Anne, you know. I hate Charlie Sloane. Jane Andrews told me that Minnie McPherson told her that she heard Charlie telling Ruby Gillis that Anne had a very pretty nose.
Charlie Sloane is one of the least perceptive people in all of Avonlea. But in this case, I must say that I do agree. She does have a very lovely nose. If it weren't so stuck up in the air, careful you don't bruise that lovely nose of yours by pressing it too hard to the grindstone, although it'll be the only chance to match me, particularly with hair like this. Carrots is what I call it.
Gil!
Look, everybody! Carrots! Carrots! Carrots!
You mean hateful boy! Anne!
Anne Shirley, what is the meaning of this?
It wasn't her fault, Mr. Phillips.
Then whose fault was it?
It was mine, sir. I teased her.
Teasing does not warrant violence. I'm appalled to see a student of mine displaying such a vindictive spirit. You shall write 100 times, Anne Shirley has a very bad temper. Anne Shirley must learn to control her temper. You will learn this is not the way Avonlea children behave. Now come in and begin immediately.
We'd better go before it gets madder.
Go on, Gil.
And I'm awful sorry. Honest, I am.
I shall never forgive Gilbert Blythe. The iron has entered into my soul.
He makes fun of all the girls, Anne, and I've never heard him apologize for anything before. He laughs at my hair because it's so black. He's called me Crow a dozen times.
There is a great deal of difference between being called a crow and being called carrots. He has hurt my feelings excruciatingly.
I instructed you to begin immediately, Anne Shirley. You're not in an institution where you can do as you please any longer.
I was a model pupil at the orphanage, Mr. Phillips, but then there were no children there as rude as Gilbert Blythe.
You could learn a great deal from Gilbert Blythe, and in fact you shall. From now on you shall sit next to Gilbert. Maybe that will teach you to moderate your temper and your pride.